Retro looks, a wild heart, and a good dose of drama, but interpreted in a modern way. And no, we are not talking about a new David Lynch film here. We are talking about our BMW R 12G/S. Yes, we actually bought one, and we did not hang about either. Straight away, it was taken apart, straight away, it was rebuilt, and as an extra, it also got a fresh New Church Summit design. Why we did that, and why two-time Supermoto World Champion Bernd Hiemer is giving this bike the spurs here in Bad Fischau today, you will see right now. Hello, my dear 1000 PS viewers. Welcome to the Motorsport Arena Bad Fischau. Today we really have a lot to talk about. Why we bought this BMW R 12G/S. Why we started the conversion even before the first 1,000 kilometer service. Why it is now standing here in the New Church Summit design, and why all of this was only the beginning. I am being supported by my colleague Bernd Hiemer, and I will be completely honest with you. If anyone can really give a bike like this a proper thrashing, it is him. But before we dive deep into the subject, we would really appreciate your thumbs up to support our work in front of the camera. The BMW R 12G/S has hit the motorcycling world like a hammer. Suddenly there were videos, tests, opinions, discussions everywhere, including at 1000 PS. And honestly, I understand why, because this bike just immediately triggers something. With Nils, it was all over as well. He was riding it on Gran Canaria and fell in love with it right there and then. Even during the shoot, he was already thinking about whether he should treat himself to one. And knowing him, he does not talk around things for long. There it is, his G/S. Maybe just very briefly on the facts and figures. The bike has an air and oil-cooled boxer with 109 horsepower. On top of that, there are 115 Newton meters, so proper shove from low down. The engine is hooked up to a 6-speed gearbox with shaft drive, and that is exactly what makes the bike so special, because everything feels raw, real, mechanical, not as polished and smooth as modern adventure bikes. Even so, it offers plenty of comfort, quick shifter, heated grips, cruise control, hill start control, it is all fitted, as well as modern electronics with riding modes, ride-by-wire, and lean angle-sensitive assistance systems. Out of the box, the suspension offers 210 millimeters of travel at the front and 200 at the rear. At the front, we have a 21-inch front wheel, and with the Enduro Pro package, an 18-inch rear wheel, plus a large engine guard, handlebar risers, big foot pegs, and chunky tires. In short, this classy thing does not just look like adventure, it wants adventure. But that is exactly where our topic begins, because our Nils was not actually looking for a no-compromise desert enduro, as he has access to rally bikes, hard enduros, all sorts of things. With the R 12GS, he simply wanted to have a good time, ride long tours, Alpine passes, carve through bends, ride gravel roads, and simply rock a motorcycle that looks awesome and has character. The only thing was, the standard setup was almost too extreme for that. Too tall, too rough, too off-road focused. So we thought, okay, how can we shift the focus more towards the road without destroying the purist character of the G/S? And that is exactly where our tuning project comes in. With Bridgestone, with Zard, later also with Öhlins and Wunderlich, all within reason, without complex conversions, without interfering with the electronics, without any ABS trickery. The bike should be able to be converted back towards off-road use at any time. And here it is, our first development stage, stage 1. The changes are manageable because in the first step, we really only changed the tires and the exhaust. For the tires, we went for the Bridgestone Battlax Adventure Trail AT41. The AT41 is a 90/10 road tire, but visually, it still suits the adventure spirit of the R 12GS. It is meant to work strongly in the wet and deliver cleanly on dry roads. And to give the boxer sound a little more character, we fitted a Zard Raid 80 slip-on. It is not a shouty pipe, not something that gets on your nerves, just a bit more character. The slip-on is Euro 5 plus compliant, has a black ceramic coating, and is around half a kilo lighter than the original. According to the manufacturer, it is even supposed to bring a small performance gain. Of course, we also had it on the dyno with our partner, and our measurements showed a zero-sum game. No more power, but no less either, which is fine because quite a lot of aftermarket silencers already cost a bit of money and performance. instead of actually adding anything. Incidentally, no adjustment was necessary. Right? Okay? I have bored you enough now with equipment and tune-up talk, enough theory. Now let's see what the Stage 1 changes actually bring in practice. So, the Bridgestone AT41 and the Zard slip-on. And who could judge that better than former Supermoto World Champion Bernd Hiemer? Hello Bernd, thanks for coming.
Yes, of course. If we are heading out onto the racetrack here, then obviously I am in sideways.
Great, and thanks as well for risking life and limb, because after all, it is Nils' private bike, so you do have to be a little bit careful. Oh! Bernd, you know the machine relatively well. You have already ridden it in Spain, and mainly rode it off-road there.
Yes, exactly. I know the motorcycle from off-road use, and I really enjoy riding it. So, genuinely a purist bike, and thanks to the suspension and the wheel sizes, it is really brilliant to ride off-road.
And what were your experiences like away from off-road? Because of course you had to ride there and back on the road with the bike.
Yes, of course we rode from the apartment where we were staying into the mountains, where we then properly rode off-road and on the road naturally with knobbly tires. Sure, that was perfectly okay, but if you want to really get the foot peg scraping, then of course those knobbly tires were the wrong ones to have on there. So I'm very curious to see how the motorcycle performs on track today with road tires.
All right, Bernd, do your thing. Off you go onto the track.
Okay, I will grab my helmet, then we can get going.
Yes, good old Bernd has really been giving it some now. He has already done a few quick laps. Bernd, Stage 1, the Bridgestone tires and the Zard exhaust. How does it feel to you now?
Yes, well, the exhaust sounds good. You cannot really fault it. You do have to say that. I did not really feel that it goes better or anything like that, but you already explained that in detail. The power is the same, so that lines up with the fact that you hardly feel any difference. As for the tires themselves, compared with the standard knobbly tires, the road tires are of course worlds better here and naturally give a much better feeling. As for the suspension itself, I am very curious about Stage 2. Sure, it is off-road suspension, which basically works really well for off-road riding. You can close it up and make it a bit firmer or harder for better feedback on the road.
So, what happens next with our tuning project? In Stage 2, a complete Öhlins suspension setup is planned, with an Öhlins steering damper, Öhlins cartridge springs, and Öhlins oil. An Öhlins BM320 shock will also be used, with rebound and compression adjustment as well as progressive damping. That means when the shock compresses very heavily, it firms up towards the end to prevent bottoming out. Everything is optimized for the road, but still adjustable for serious off-road use in case Nils does decide to convert it back again at some point. Unfortunately, not all the Öhlins parts were available yet, because BMW only recently brought the GS onto the market. And yes, so we do not forget, a large Wunderlich package is also coming to our bike. Engine protection bars, protective pads for the axles and for the shaft drive. Nice clutch and brake levers, a magnetic tank ring with a tank bag, a protective grille for the headlight, and much more. Yes, and that already brings me to our final point, our new Church Summit 1000 PS design. Our friends at Moto Styles in Riegau created it for us. The wrap simply suits the R12G/S because this bike captures exactly the spirit of the new Church Summit. Classic design, an honest concept, robust, not over the top, but still interpreted in a modern way and optimized for road and touring use. In other words, heritage touring, travel character, and a bit of off-road attitude. That is why, for us, it is the perfect promotional bike for the event. While they were at it, the lads from Moto Styles also created the cutting templates straight away. That means you too can have your dream design made for your R12G/S. Quick, individual, affordable. Just contact Gabriel and Sebastian at www.moto-styles.shop. So, and that is it once again. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment for the algorithm. Questions, suggestions, or criticism, please write them down in the comments below. And now look forward to the second tune-up part. Nils will produce that one directly from the new Church Summit, and then it will be about the real-world performance check. So sporty back road, touring with the tune-up in its final stage. Stay healthy, take care. Bye for now.